Fortunately, there are many great examples of business and education partnerships throughout our state, and Expect More Arizona is committed to celebrating those partnerships by highlighting them as bright spots, and beginning now with our Excellence in Business and Education Partnerships Award. This award will be given each year to a company that is helping to champion high expectations for education in our state, a company that is expecting more and doing more for students throughout Arizona by giving their time, money, leadership, and expertise to help raise the bar. We are pleased to introduce this award by recognizing a well-known and well-deserving company in Arizona, a company that employs nearly 10,000 people in our state, a company that has a global impact in addition to being committed to the local communities that it serves. Intel Corporation. Intel is committed to strengthening education and has been from its start in Arizona. It's more than worthy of recognition because of programs like Intel Math, which keep it connected to local schools, enhancing teacher quality and bringing greater relevancy into the classroom. Its involvement in organizations such as ABEC, Science Foundation Arizona, the Arizona Tech Council, and Expect More Arizona. Its support of employee volunteerism in mentoring, tutoring, and leading across all aspects of education, and its impressive financial investment in education. Intel is a role model for other businesses and a vocal, bold champion for bar-raising measures in Arizona. In addition, Intel cultivates leadership with a commitment to education that extends far into our state and our nation. Just look at Craig Barrett, Tom Franz, and today's co-honoree, Shelly Eskew. Shelly, for example, allowed her image to be posted on our billboards, airport signage, and print ads statewide. I know that takes a lot. She touted the message, education needs to be viewed as an investment, not an expense. At a time when education was faced with deep cuts, she has held firm in communicating the needs of business for students to graduate with strong science, technology, engineering, and math skills. Expect More Arizona is pleased to present its first annual Excellence in Education and Business Partnerships Award to Shelly Eskew and the Intel Corporation.
Thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Paul, and everyone here today. Maybe it's because it's the holiday season, but I have to take a trip down memory lane real quickly. It's an honor to accept this award, and Intel's employees are so dedicated to making a difference. And for myself, it's been an honor to be part of Expect More Arizona. When I agreed to do that, I had no idea what it was, let me be clear. And is there anything more horrifying than to stand on the stage with yourself? I mean, I wish Phil Francis was here, because I loved getting off the airplane at the airport and seeing if it was Phil or Shelly that was going to be mean and staring at me. But you mentioned 1968, and it was either 1968 or 69. I was in second grade, and I got off the bus in East Mesa, and I was really mad. And I ran through the orange groves to find my dad, and he was up in a tree. That's a good place to find him. And I yelled up at him and I said, "Dad, it's not fair," which was pretty normal for me back then. I found a lot of things weren't fair. And he calmly called down, "What's not fair, Shelly?" I said, "Lynn and Sherry get paid because they had a good report card. You and Mom have never given us a dime." Silence from the tree. And then my dad came down the ladder and calmly looked at me and, "We expect you to do well in school." And he climbed back up the ladder. It was a short conversation. I got the message. You know, I was probably a little upset by the message, but I understood. And later, as I went through life and I think about high expectations, I know that's where it started. And for most of us, we're lucky that it starts in the home, that our parents set those expectations, and maybe our grandparents, our neighbors, our friends, and then our teachers and our school leaders. And ultimately, the business community and public officials help to set expectations for us. The media shapes that, not often in a good way, and pop culture, especially today, has such a huge influence on our young people. But what I call all those people that set the right expectations for me, those are my Arizona community, because I'm from Arizona. And what that community taught me was that for all young people, we should expect the best, and we should provide them with the best education possible. So I'd like to fast forward a few decades from 1968, and I'm working at Intel, a company of extremely high expectations. We have high expectations about the technologies we create, the products that we ship, the way we run our factories, our environmental performance, and high expectations about each and every employee. We expect them to come to work ready to innovate, to participate, to have energy and drive, and to deliver not only in the workplace, but in the community, as Pearl mentioned. And they do it over and over and over again. And we also expect them to share high expectations with their communities, whether that's in Arizona or in Shanghai or in Taiwan or in Ireland or anywhere that we operate. Normally, I would share a list of statistics about the state of the U.S. education system, but I'm not going to do that. We've heard some of those today, and I want to focus on something else. I want to focus on a few bright spots, because Tom Friedman is on a book tour again, and he's written a book about, what's wrong with America today. And as he was speaking last week in D.C., he talked about some research. And the research is pretty interesting. An organization conducted interviews in 5 states, 7 cities, focus groups, analysis. They looked at 900 articles about education reform across the country. And they had this one key finding, and I'd like to read it to you. Crisis thinking, while common, leads to caution and conservatism, not innovation and transformation. Invoking concepts such as transformation, reinvention, or blow up the system tends to overwhelm people. It reminds them that education is a political football, and it makes them even more cynical about any solutions. And so with that in mind, I'd like to just point to a few bright spots. There's so many bright spots in Arizona, along with the great organizations like Expect More and ABEC and Arizona Science Foundation and so many others. But we finally have the policy framework in place to really make change happen. We have statewide goals that are articulated. They're on one website. Anybody can go find them through Arizona Ready. And we've all agreed to make those goals a reality. We have schools like University High in Tucson and Basis Charter Schools, gold high schools in America, chosen as the best in America. We have the top 40 science student in America in Chandler schools. Go Chandler. Our NAEP scores, so this national assessment, we moved faster. We're the 3rd fastest moving state in improvement. That's something to be proud of. English proficiency, we're moving kids faster to English language. That's something to be proud of. We have so many wonderful institutions. How about the effort to allow more students to take the ACT college entrance exam? That's making a huge impact on attitudes and opportunities and children's desire to think that college is a possibility for them. So these organizations and institutions, this framework we have all the pieces in place now, and we have education and the business community collaborating like never before. Many in this room know what it was like a decade ago or 15 years ago. We would not have had this breakfast, or if we did, there'd be a line down the center, superintendents on one side, business people on the other, and there might be a food fight later on. I think we're a state that's not afraid to create, to innovate. We're pioneers. As we heard earlier, majority of people moved here, not Paul and I. We're from here. And I think we have to build on the strengths, and we have the responsibility to set very high expectations for what the future will bring to us. In business, at a business like Intel, we set hugely aspirational goals. And then we innovate, and we attempt all possibilities to make those goals happen. In Arizona, we have some huge aspirational goals for education. And now it's up to each of us in this room to just make it happen. Today is my father's 90th birthday.